The other day, I was just thinking, man, it's been a really long time since I've made an anbennar video. And then, just like that, boom, anbennar update. The northeast area of this continent got a massive change. We got a bunch of new countries, cultures, that kind of thing. And as usual, the new countries don't have any mission trees for them, but in every anbennar update, they update like a ton of mission trees. But one country that I have previously played is Myanmar, and last time I checked, they were exceedingly difficult. So, Myanmar, a little tribe in the middle of, well, not nowhere, but nowhere that we're really concerned with at the moment. We barely know what's around us. And I don't know the history of this country, so I can't tell you very much, but I can tell you that we're a little bit out of place because we are ogres. If you think of ogres, they're like kind of big, kind of strong, a little bit stupid, that kind of thing. But, given the right circumstances, we can create a kingdom, or an empire. So you can see we're going to be very strong early game with that shock damage. We also have some pretty decent siege ability, but on the downside, not a lot of force limit. Cavalry is just a waste of time pretty much, and we don't have that much manpower. As for the name, Meyer comes from the area, I imagine, and Ma comes from our religion, I think. We follow the Feast of the Gods religion, which I think is ogre specific. It's the idea that literally eating strong enemies will make you yourself stronger. And most importantly, we have our own mission tree. This is actually the first half, I think, because once we get down here, we get new missions after we get our formable. But if we make the monstrous tribes happy and we have a large enough army, then we get plus 50 global settler increase. So I think that's a good place to start. It shouldn't take too long for us to build this army, and we do need to keep some of the estates happy. So we can finish this off for 50 global settler increase, and we'll start with this province. Now, the conquistador just has to go around and explore a few provinces. Now we can see a few people. This area in the center here is owned by orcs, and it has a ridiculous amount of development. But fortunately, orcs are not subterranean, so they can't use a dwarven hold to the maximum effectiveness. But they are still quite strong, so they're going to be our first enemy probably. In any case, we've explored the entire area, so we get an additional colonist, cheaper development, and reduced colony cost, which is nice. Oh, okay. I was just about to say, these guys moved in here recently, and hopefully we don't have to fight them, but we've gotten our answer already, so that's nice. Well, that's not very nice of you. Let's go ahead and hire a couple people. In fact, it might actually be better to strike them first. I won't have my run ended this early. We took quite a few extra casualties. We can't really see that much, but we do have our conquistador. But yeah, okay, maybe we don't want to go into the serpent spine, actually. Maybe not the best of ideas. Yoink! Eventually we'll have to convert this, obviously, but for now, at least we're safe. So I've been purposefully colonizing around this area because any contact we have with Shattered Crown immediately reveals ourselves to them on the map, which means if they wanted to, they could declare war on us. And obviously, that would kind of suck. But there's really nothing we can do about it because we don't make that much money. So best we got is pretty much improving relations, but yeah, they hate us. Now that this province is done, we just have to toss in a little bit of development, which will finish this mission. It does unfortunately change the goods in this area to livestock, which is a little bit worse than copper. On the bright side, they all get +1 goods, which is pretty much the same as 5 Diplo development. Also, you might have noticed we lost 5 Doom, and that's because we apparently also have the Doom mechanic that the Aztecs usually have. As far as I can tell, it functions pretty much the exact same way. And to finish these reforms, you need to do a number of things. First of all, we need 3 subjects. We need to increase development for this one, win 15 wars for that one. So we're gonna be a little bit limited on our expansion, but not by much. Eventually we do have to take the entire Almdir, which is gonna be fun. Next we need 90% of the force limit, so we might as well get this done sooner rather than later. Fortunately we can just use a mercenary company. They're still pretty cheap. Then we put on the defensive edict in the capital. What's really interesting about this mission actually is that it kind of tells you how to fight the war. with the orcs. It explicitly says, yeah, lead them out of their capital, let them die of attrition in the swamps, and then rout them, and then siege the capital. It basically just tells you that, which is true. That is like the best way to fight an enemy that is stronger than you. I don't think we're going to get a better opportunity than right now. Our missions are pretty much stuck until we conquer the entire area in here, and the longer we wait, the stronger they're going to get, probably faster than we are. So, that being said, we should be able to bait them into attacking us here. I'm a little nervous about this battle, but we do have equal tech. It just comes down to the different kinds of militaries. Unfortunately, we do still crush in the shock phase. Well, not great, but not bad. I've had worse battles. And if I'm right, they shouldn't have any forts in these areas yet, so just maybe we can catch a few of them. Oh, you were right there. Okay, hold on, that's not very good. Okay, they do have a fort here, that's a problem. But that's kind of okay, because again, they're just going to take the same bait, like clockwork. Although this time they are trying to reinforce, but they won't get there on time. We really aren't getting great rolls on this, but we should still be fine, probably. Oh, that should be a stack wipe. Or not, okay. Okay, maybe this will be a stack wipe, maybe that will be a stack wipe, who knows? Well, I hope they don't mind if I just burn this down. Really don't feel like annexing that. With the capital taken, that should be the end of the war. Of course, we'll take everything. And here's another mechanic which we'll probably never get the chance to actually see. But there is a crown, the Dwarven, which as far as I remember was the crown of the old Dwarven Empire that used to rule, I think, the entire Serpent Spine. Yeah, we can also just get rid of that, I guess. Oh, that's a lot of money actually that we got out of that. Nice. Anyway, the Dwarven is just like a really cool crown. I mean, that's pretty much it. It probably does something else. I don't know what. Somebody has it. The other gems, we have no idea. But if you collect all of them, then something probably happens. Anyway, we can use all that money that we stole from the orcish trophy pile. We can build a fort over here for another mission. It should be noted that we also can't do, like, anything with these provinces. Firstly, it's mostly just made up of orcs still, and even if we did manage to bring in a bunch of ogres, we still wouldn't be able to use it. On the bright side, we can sell some titles, get some more crown land. Once we have the technology, we can at least build a few things. And although we don't really make a lot of money, we can just use our stockpile to hire a couple of guys. As far as I can tell, this is like the only background information we've heard so far about Maw. So a quick TLDR is like, this place was owned by giants. The giants were kind enough to elevate some of the ogres to have their own, like, kingdom or something. And that kingdom used to have this province at the head of its capital. So, yeah, something like that. So now that we've taken control over the Serpent Vale back, we're gonna move our capital, basically move a bunch of development as well. He gets a couple of nice modifiers, and we also get tax, liberty desire from subject development, and yearly doom reduction, which is kind of nice. With these cores now done, we can finish off another mission, the Grand Feast. As we can imagine, it's probably going to involve eating the orcs. Ah, okay, we get to choose actually, interesting. So we can devour the orcs, which would immediately change the religion and culture of the entire area in here. It would give us increased infantry combat ability and reduced shock damage for the rest of the game, which is very promising. In other words, it seems like eating them actually does give us strength. Or we could decide to spare them, and the choice affects future missions. That's interesting. You know what? We can be nice to them. Let's just see what happens. I built the army up to finish off this mission, which will give us a forced tributary CB on any nation in the Western Dwarvar, which is pretty much this area, for the next 100 years. And I think our first prey, probably going to be these guys. Fortunately for us, these guys are still not at Tech 6, which means we can fight them on relatively even terms. Unfortunately, holds just kind of suck to siege. Like, these are actually held by dwarves, so yeah, it's gonna take a while. Well, they didn't put up much of a fight. Tributary it is. Yeah, they really don't like us. Oh, they actually just abandoned the hold outright. Sheesh. We can just consume their air. Oh my god. Well, I guess we're off to discover more tags to subjugate. Oh, this guy's kind of in the way. He shouldn't be that hard to fight. Still Tech 5. Uh-oh. That could be kind of a problem. Yeah, that's kind of an issue. Didn't expect the goblins to put up a better fight than dwarves, but it happens. I feel like we can probably beat them this time. There we go. It only took an actual 2 years to siege their capital, but I think at this point we can probably do the tributary. Yeah, there we go. Alright, now we continue exploring. And how about you? Tributary? We can probably make them into a tributary, still Tech 5. In fact, there's no actual limit on the number of tributaries we can have. I guess if I wanted to, I could probably turn all of these tags into tributaries. In fact, there really isn't a reason not to. So, now we can finish one of our reforms. Only between these two, because the others have different requirements. We could, I guess, if we wanted to finish this one, but it doesn't really matter that much. Actually, we can't even finish this one, because we don't have enough livestock, or grain, or serpent bloom. So, legitimacy it is, I guess. Now, we could finish this mission. However, if we create more tributaries, then we get a much larger payoff. In any case, we should probably wait until we have the maximum number of tributaries. Oh, hey, look, it's Mountain Shark. If you watched my last anbennar video, you'll recognize these guys. Tragically, we're going to have to invade them, though. They didn't contest the capital, but we do actually want to fight them still. So maybe we can bait them back onto their capital. They've surrendered. Why would you surrender? You still have troops. Come on. I need to fight you. Okay, I guess we're fighting you in the caverns then. Wait, what? They deleted their entire military. Okay, well, whatever. Well, on to the next one, I guess. Oh yeah, Darkscale. I forgot about these guys. They were actually one of my first runs ever in anbennar, but they still don't have a mission tree yet, so... One day, I'll come back to them. But for now, they must pay tribute. Alright, tributary, thank you. Now we can pass a second reform. Then we have these guys, and I honestly don't think I've ever seen this tag, but whatever. It's so weird that whenever like they get the opportunity, they immediately disband their own army. I don't get it. I went ahead and built a couple of buildings just to finish off this mission. We get a bit of lore about unifying the ogres, and practically speaking, we just get development cost decrease. And the lore consequence is that we, as the ogres, are the ones that are like gifted by the giants to have intelligence. So we should naturally be the ones to rule over the other ones created by the giants, the trolls. You can also play as trolls, by the way. You can play like all the way up here. They're like a bunch of forest trolls and like stuff like that. I was hoping we'd be able to see this area once we colonize it, but I guess not. It's kind of weird. I'm sure Ruby Company won't be that hard to take down. Okay, we fully occupied them. We still have to go ahead and just get rid of them though. Although I think they're just going to delete their own army again. Kind of hate when that happens because I do need to fight them. Yeah, there they go. Deleted the army. Nice. Yeah, that's fine, I guess. Okay, one last tributary. Hopefully I can get an actual fight out of these guys. Please fight me. If I begged, would you fight me, please? I crave violence. So apparently we do need to repair these holds for one of our missions here. So to do that, yeah, it's going to be quite expensive. But at the very least, what we can do is sell a few titles. That'll give us enough money to repair it. Although we do need to be at peace, so, you know, that'll have to take a little bit. New heir, he sucks. Perfect, let's toss him out. He's actually average, but we want better than average. Okay, please don't surrender. I need to fight you. Please. Yes, perfect. Even if I lose, I need to inflict casualties. I need to do something. Yes, perfect, perfect, beautiful. Stack wipe, oh, it's perfect. Okay, that'll be the last tributary, I think. Let's go with intensive agriculture. We can do the left reform at any time. I think this one requires that you have 500 ducats. I don't know if it's actually gonna cost 500 ducats. I sure hope not, but we'll find out. Okay, no, you just need to have 500 ducats. Okay. We should get, I think, 400 gold from dwarves, 100 of each monarch point from the dwarves. Now, let's fix that hold. We did somehow manage to pick up our first idea group. I just don't know what I want, to be honest. This country is kinda tough to play. We're not exactly suited to be in the Serpent Spine, because we're ogres. Colonizing only gets us so far, so getting an additional colonial group like expansion wouldn't even be that helpful. Just for now, I think I'll pick up infrastructure ideas, actually. We're playing a very unusual country, and I know at some point it's going to become much easier to develop these provinces around here. Fortunately for us, we don't have to deal with the flooded province modifier because we are Mossmouth Ogre. So it's not like a big problem for us in this region, but I'm pretty sure we can still repair the irrigation in the area, and I think we can still make it cheaper, so I at least want to figure out what happens. Oh. Okay, we suddenly got a whole bunch of vision over here. I think it's because we're in the ogre tech group and it's been exactly 50 years. So if you didn't know, 50 years after something was discovered by someone in your tech group, you also gain knowledge of that. So over here is the Forbidden Plains. It's where all the centaurs live. In fact, I think they also got updated in this update, which doesn't really surprise me. I think the centaurs have been updated like 5 times since they were introduced or something. So it's kind of tough to deal with the whole hunger mechanic here. We've already grabbed all the tributaries that we can get. It's not a permanent CB, it was only for these countries right here. And well, technically we can also invade Grumbar. In fact, I'm going to, but not for that reason. One of the reasons is just to kick them out of this area, and also because I need to fight them to reduce my hunger. And also, they're pretty weak, you know, Tech 5 or Tech 8, so... yeah, this won't be very hard. Also, along the way, I'm probably gonna burn that down, yeah. I could seize it, but I don't have that kind of money, and it just got started, so I actually just don't care that much. Yeah, they're pretty easy to beat. Oh yeah, so because I declared war on somebody outside of the Serpent Spine, I have lost my Heir of the Serpent Spine thing. Which means our army actually costs money now. Well, that's unfortunate. But, you know, it was kind of necessary. Oh, would you look at that? We haven't finished colonizing the province, but apparently it doesn't matter. Lose 1 war exhaustion, 15 power projection, and 25 army tradition. I mean, it's nice, I guess. Then we just have to colonize all the way up here. That shouldn't be an issue. Okay, final battle. I don't know why Rivsby's in here. Ooh, massive casualties. Okay, well, we still need to grab a little bit more. I don't know how long this is going to last. They are proving a little difficult to find, though. Just how big even is this guy? Alright, so could I just have, like, maybe 1 more battle or something? See, the war really isn't about winning as much as it is about consuming. Ooh, that's pretty good. You know, we could just keep going. As long as they have manpower, we do have mouths to feed. Oh, beautiful. They also picked up an entire mercenary company. Oh, we're eating good tonight. Yeah, okay, I'd say that's good enough. We're done. And all I really want is money and war reps. That's it. It does make me kind of wonder if I'm supposed to be going through these reforms this quickly. Oh well. Like, there might be something that makes it easier on us whenever we reform. But I didn't actually check, so that's too bad. Oh hey, we've actually restored the hold. Perfect. If you want to pause and read the lore here, I think the event is going to be us asking dwarves to move to Amarthal. Oh god, we could eat the dwarves. True, okay, that's pretty standard for us. It would give us 50 years of 20% development cost reduction. Ooh, that's pretty big. However, I sort of want to use the hold. If we can get the dwarves and goblins to work the serpent spine for us, then we'll probably make a lot more money. Besides, this will repair all of the Almdir holds by 1. Well, this doesn't. So I kinda like the second option. Sure, we'll turn them into servants. We are going to have to increase our tolerance of dwarves, otherwise it's still not going to be accessible, but at least we're 1 step in the right direction. Besides, we can just get the goblins to occupy the other areas. So I'm pretty sure this entire area, like the entirety of Serpent's Vale, which includes these 4 states, needs to have a counting house or a workshop in every single one of them, except for the Dwarven roads, which is, you know, kind of expensive. Really? Oh, that's beautiful. Okay, so hear me out. I know it's gonna sound ridiculous to reform the navy that we don't have. However, we really don't need a better army, but I do need Diplo points. I did decide to wait a little bit before I build all these workshops, because I can pick this up for a 10% cost discount. And supposedly, every province in the Serpent's Vale needs one, so yeah, it's a little expensive, but saving a few ducats is a good idea. The Diplotech was important because it makes my subjects a little less rebellious. We do eventually need to have all of them under 50% liberty desires, that's kind of important. Also, we apparently need to focus on trolls for a certain mission, so we can do that. With all workshops complete, we get 10% production efficiency, 10% local manpower, and +1 attrition for enemies in the entire region. We also lose 15 hunger, which is great. Oh yeah, I completely forgot that this guy actually exists. There's a tiny piece of the serpent spine that detaches all the way up here. And like, there are some dwarves living in here. It's kind of neat. And I mean, I'm pretty sure we could turn them into a tributary. Yeah, this is, you know, technically the west serpent spine. So if I really wanted to, and I kind of do, might have to, you know. After all, those other 4 wars aren't gonna win themselves. I like how the state is called the Dead End Tunnel, and the final province is just called Abrupt End. Okay. Well, anyway, that'll be a tributary and full money, thank you very much. I'm sure they're not a huge fan of that, but that's too bad. The thing with colonialism is that, of course, we're going to have to spawn it in. However, the entire time, the whole game, we've had a plus 50% penalty to developing. So I don't feel particularly inclined to develop it right now. We turn into a monarchy, which in theory gets rid of that penalty, probably does at least. So all we can really do is sit here, wait for these two provinces to finish, and also decrease the liberty desire of my subjects. You know what, I actually do need some more tributaries. And Grombar at this point is literally just a few provinces. I mean, we kind of kicked them a little too hard, maybe. They pretty much collapsed after we fought them. So let's start with Northern Wind, actually. So we do still need to win 3 wars. I think it'll be nice if we just grab these over here. Like, this entire area is still technically West Serpent Spine, so I can invade both of these. And Bjarnrik, you know, is kind of in my way. They're not giving me mill access, which is kind of annoying, so... You know, I think I'm just going to declare war on them, to be honest. Yeah, I kind of figured that's where they would be. Nice. Cool. Cool. Well, on the bright side, before they can burn down my colony, let's go kick them. Again, we don't actually need to own all these provinces, apparently, so, okay. So we could decide to eat the trolls. I don't think we're going to do that. We can be nice. Although the benefits of being nice are not a lot, but I'll take it. Okay, Grombar, I don't think we're going to make you into a tributary. Just not gonna happen, but who cares? I literally just need to win the war, so, Alright, so now we need to have these guys be a little bit less uppity. I mean, they are tributaries, so we could technically develop in their territory. It would just be, like, incredibly expensive. We can develop in here, I guess. We can drop, like, a little bit, maybe. That kind of sucked, but at least we get to keep all of our tributaries. The lore here is pretty much just, let's become a kingdom. And so... we do become a kingdom, and a completely different tag. We get some new missions, which pretty much doubles the length of our tree, but, well, it's actually more missions than that, I think. So let's start by collecting 100 gold and 10 of every monarch point for each of the holds that our tributaries own. It'll also decrease the liberty desire of our subjects, which is nice. Grombar fell apart so bad that Broken Jaw popped back out of them. We do also have actual estates now, so let's start by giving out the point privileges. Oh right, kind of forgot to repair all of these. I guess we should start on that. Also, we can demand some power from all of our subjects now. So as it turns out, the whole becoming a monarchy thing actually wasn't helpful for getting rid of the dev cost penalty. We're still going to have to go to war with this guy. We're gonna make them into a tributary because they can give us a few points each year. And that actually is enough wars, we just need to bump up stability by once. So we can finally reform. So now we can actually develop. I forgot to mention, by the way, that we did get a new government reform. I'm a little on it. National unrest increase and institution spread decrease, but we get a couple of nice things. Of course, we like maximum absolutism, but that's not going to be an actual effect for like another 100 years. Well, maybe we get something better later. Ooh, you know what? Maybe I can take that. Yeah, I'm gonna take that. This has to be a joke. It's been he's 0 years old. It has been like 3 weeks. Are you kidding me? Okay, well. Alright. Okay. Oh, that is interesting. Every cave province we or our subjects own that has over 5 development in any non-fort building changes its trades good to iron, which is kind of interesting, and I imagine isn't going to apply to a whole lot of provinces because, you know, caverns, very difficult to develop. Typically speaking, not really like a big priority either, but hey, I mean, I'll take it. Yeah, that is quite a bit of iron. I actually made a mistake by turning this guy into a tributary because apparently we have to own this entire area. Rather, the entire region. I'm only realizing just now, I never actually explained what holds are. I don't know if it's too late at this point, but there used to be a dwarf empire that existed in, like, I think the entirety of the Serpent Spine. So eventually they collapsed, but they had really advanced technology, so they left a bunch of, like, holds around, and, like, all of these are dwarf rods, which are literally just mine shafts. It's a giant rail system that connects up the entire mountain. Like, the mountain itself is not originally completely hollow. The dwarves created a good part of what is the internal Serpent Spine, including the holds, the Dwarven rods, the Dagran rods, you know, most of this stuff, I think. It goes like really far too, like the Serpent Spine ends like over here or something? Pretty far. One of the things that the dwarves left behind is also pipes. They used to have an irrigation system in the Serpent's Veil. So we, as ogres who didn't build the pipes and don't know how they work, are gonna try and bring them back somehow. So we've been living in this area and we found these pipes laying around but didn't really know what they did. So only just now we're gonna try and get them back in order, and I'm pretty sure that's basically just development costs, dude. Okay, so we lose 500 crowns. Presumably that does something. Okay, yeah, so we can do swamp piping, nice. We have like a ridiculous amount of money as well, so like we just wait for the 200 admin. Not a big deal. That should do it. Oh wow, we have to do this every time, okay. That's, Well, let's start with the northern swamp because it has our capital and I want to develop the next institution. Well, it's reasonable to assume that we should expect most invasions to either come from the Serpent Spine or the north, but frankly, I probably won't be in that kind of a position. So we don't need this. Honestly, we might just go with the top one. Goods produced? We have fur. It's worth something, I guess. I don't know. I also don't know if that did anything. Just finished off both infrastructure and offensive ideas. I still don't actually see any effect at all in the Northern Territories, which is a little bit weird, but also we don't see the option anymore, so I'm thinking it's probably just happening. It's gonna take a while. I have no idea how long it's going to take, but we might as well wait. Oh, there we go. So it still gives attrition for enemies, which is cool, I guess. I mean, we already get +2 or +3 usually, but okay. You know, for 1,500 ducat, it's just kind of okay. It's not like the greatest modifier I've ever seen, but it's pretty cool. There might be a better version of it later on. I actually have no idea. Oh, I didn't even see that. Every upgrade can only be selected once. Okay. Interesting. Well, in that case, how about we upgrade the western swamp over here? We should upgrade it with manpower and production efficiency because 1, we get the +1 goods produced just over here in these 3 provinces. And 2, of course, because each of these are livestock, if we decide to maximize the manpower by putting in a soldier's household and the training field, then we can get even more manpower simply by taking this. Took a while, but we finally have dwarves at coexistence. This means we can actually use the central thing in here. We were losing 50% tax and 50% production modifier on that for a while. Funny enough, we actually do need to own these provinces over here. So for the first time in like 70 years, we're actually going to have to conquer territory. Based? Hold on. So Damestyr is like basically raw magical energy that falls from the sky. There's some actual lore behind it that I completely forget, even though someone explained it to me once. The main point is that it gives you a whole lot of money, because it's worth 10. Highest in the game, pretty much. Just like an absolutely ridiculous amount of money. Alright, that'll be 2 upgrades by now. The reason I waited to make sure we get that second upgrade done before ending the video is because I really wanted to show off this mission. The important part is that the monument in our capital, not the actual like great project because we don't have one, but the runestone down here now gives us 2 monarch point tribute from tributary subjects. This is kind of important when you have a ton of subjects. Because right now, we're making an additional 42 admin points per year, which is equivalent to, you know, about 3 months, sort of regular generation. But there is a little bit more here, because if you go down this mission, or this one actually, it says that every ogre with their capital in the Ogre Valley, which is this region right here, so all of these ogre tags, which there are like a ton of them, any with 100 opinion becomes our tributary. So if you count them up, that's like 10 or 11, not this one because this is a centaur nation. So the main point is like we're looking at least 22, maybe 24 additional points from tributaries per year. So yeah, tributaries. That was the main thing that I wanted to show off because I don't think it upgrades any further than that. So I want to end the video off here, not only because I've been sitting here for like 8 hours, and a lot of that's been like speed 5 gameplay, but also so I don't spoil the entire mission tree for you. I want you to still have a reason to actually play this country if you feel like it. I'm sure there are a few ways that I could have played it that would have been a little bit better, but at the very minimum, You know, it's a tough start, at least. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed today's video. I really like playing Anbennar, so, more Anbennar in the future, maybe. If you have any suggestions for really cool Anbennar nations, like, if you've played a lot of Anbennar before and you have some suggestions for cool countries that I should check out, leave me a couple of comments below, because I really don't know that much about this mod. Anyway, for now, this is Corbett signing off on Anbennar, and as always, have a fantastic day. A big thank you to the patrons for this month, and in particular a special shout out to Erica, Lucabecca, Nick Steffel, Cubrute, AG Forero, Quiet Guy, Torvalved, Ambient Cyan, James Levy, Luke78776, Robert, and Cold Times.